Yeah, this is the C-Town Rivals podcast where each and every week during football season, we come at you hard. We come at you with predictions, which one of us nailed it on the head. We come at you with some facts, insight, opinions, just really good old football. And we're even later on in the show going to talk a little bit flag football and just everything about this just says championship. When I think champions, I got my guys with me, my championship guys, Adam Beadle and Ralph Amsden. And we're going to bring in Shawn Rustad very soon as he is the athletic director for the district. And it's going to be nothing short of fantastic. First thing I'll ask, Adam, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. I had some family coming to town.
Food related only. No football talk. Food related only.
Okay. It was good. I ate we do steak and turkey at my Thanksgiving. So I had some steak, some turkey, mashed potatoes. Not a big vegetable guy. So I abstained from the vegetables and some mac and cheese and obviously rolls as well. The rolls hate to see me coming.
No, that works. Ralph, what do we got? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I don't want the sounds of me drooling when other people are talking about food. I don't usually do Thanksgiving. I'm usually out working in Arizona while my family's back here, but I stayed back. My father-in-law moved out here. He's as Italian as it gets, and so he made a big lasagna and we had some he made like a 5-course meal with some soup and a dessert, and it was awesome, man. It was a good time. Got some football in with the kids, and it was very cool.
Definitely good stuff. For myself, we had a traditional Thanksgiving, not as big as it normally is, but we did have some family, and we really got into more chicken than turkey this year. But I'll definitely say mac and cheese is something that I am really grateful for. So no, that's good stuff. No, certainly good food, and I believe we have Shawn Rustad with us. Mr. Rustad, how was your Thanksgiving?
He might be here. He might not be. He pulled over to the side of the road to be safe.
There?
Yes.
Hey, there he is.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that. Someone started calling me, and I declined it, and then it took me off or whatever there. Had a great Thanksgiving. I appreciate you asking.
Good stuff. Definitely good stuff. And this is just a really big week. And I'm going to call you Coach. Yes, you're a man of many things, but I feel like I should call you Coach. Just a terrific week. You got 3 teams playing in the championships on Saturday, representing the district. Got to be a real good feeling, just real busy week for you.
Absolutely. It's an exciting week for Chandler Unified. Couldn't be more proud of all 6 programs, but certainly the last 3 standing are going to be fun to watch Saturday.
Definitely good stuff. Adam, Ralph, yeah, jump in, guys.
So I got to ask you, because a story that I tell on this podcast all the time to illustrate how far Chandler has come is that we used to lose to Yuma Kofa. People don't believe it, but we'd drive down there and get beat by Kofa. I heard you have some affiliation with Yuma Kofa. Maybe the change in luck came with you being part of the CUSD.
I did, yeah. I was at Kofa from 1993 to 2000.
That's when we were losing.
Suggs. Yeah, well, Terrell Suggs came down with the Hamilton Huskies and set the career rushing game record on the Kings down at Kofa, and I forget the exact year, but absolutely down there from 93 to 2000.
That would have been 2000, I think. That would have been the end. But
there you go.
I think the year before that, or that same year, because we lost Terrell, we went down there and Chandler Wolves came back with our tails between our legs, and I'll never forget that. So I'm glad you made your way up, because the good luck went with you.
There you go.
Shawn, you guys have a lot of coaches in their first year. There's Joe Bushman in his first year, Derek Zellner in his first year, Ty Wisdom in his first year, Travis Dixon's only in his second year. What do you think really is the key that these coaches have been able to sort of build this success so quickly?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the community that we live in, obviously the families that attend our schools and the kids that they send to our schools is first and most importantly what leads to the success. But I got to tell you, uh, these four guys have stepped into a highly rich tradition of success over the last 2.5 decades, 2 decades. Um, and I think their biggest attributes are, their connection with the kids. They've stepped right in. They stepped in early there, in some cases as early as last January. In Ty's case, and then Bushman in February, and Coach Zellner getting in there at spring break. But uh, the kids, they have connected with the kids, and every time I have an opportunity to talk with coaches, new coaches, volunteer coaches, man, I go back to the very first thing. And the number one priority for me in athletics, and I believe in any successful business, is the ability to build relationship with those who you're working with. And I think all four of those guys over the last year and a half, 2 years, with Coach Dixon, that's been the number one ingredient. All the content knowledge, all the X's and O's, absolutely 100% valuable, but it's the ability to get kids to want to play for you.
What do you think the biggest reason for ACP's sort of rapid growth has been? I know it's in a very populated area of Chandler that has grown a lot over the last couple of years, but when you guys, had ACP come up and the school obviously quickly rising in the football conference ranks, did you expect them to grow as fast as they did? Were you a little surprised by that, or is this, to see where they are already, is that kind of expected?
I mean, I think there is a bit of surprise, but at the same time, I think there's also those expectations. You went from what realistically was an extremely old elementary school building that was converted into a 9 through 12 high school. And then when we had the opportunity to build the Gilbert Ocotillo neighborhood on 65 acres, I believe it is, inherently, parents, they have the banner of college prep behind them. Basically what you hear with Brophy College Prep or Xavier College Prep. And that kind of ability, they just started drawing kids. And I mean, quite frankly, they're our third largest enrollment high school in this district.
Wow.
Shawn, I'll ask about the Jamboree in middle of May. That is always a really good time. And actually, I'll say it kind of started Adam and I's relationship, getting out there real early for Chandler at 7 a.m. Obviously, a lot of coaches are involved. How cool is that? And that's been kind of a staple of the district because other districts have actually followed that model. But I'm going to say Chandler was kind of the original to really get that going in a very effective way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Marcus Williams and the crew got that started, I want to say about 8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And we've just tried to build on it. We've taken feedback from those college coaches on what they like, what they don't like. And at the end of the day, it's our district administration that supports the ability for our kids to be out there during the course of the school day, and basically do a combine workout for these coaches. And let's be honest, our blue chippers, our 5 stars, 4 stars, our Division I kids, they're found, and they're not found at that jamboree per se. We're really working to give kids the opportunity to compete at the Division II, the Division III, the NAIA level, and even JUCO, for that matter. It gives them the opportunity. These coaches come out, they take a look at the kids they may be recruiting, the blue chippers, but then they're looking at everything else that's out there, and it gives the kids an opportunity, man, to go go continue their dream of playing college football. And at the end of the day, there are millions and millions of dollars in scholarship offers offered on those 2 afternoons or mornings.
What's your day like going to be on Saturday?
It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to be there at about 11 a.m. to watch a good portion of the warm-ups, to watch Casteel get it started off. And then I'm assuming at about, I'm guessing 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, we're going to be handing out 2 trophies to 2 CUSD teams. And it's going to be a great day, great evening.
Absolutely. Coach, I will definitely say thank you for joining. Anything else, guys? Well, we got a couple minutes.
Yeah, I want to remind people what they should be doing in the winter, from someone who's more qualified to be telling people what they should be doing in the winter than pretty much anyone we've ever had on this show. Coach, if you're a football player and you want to get better, what should you be doing in the winter? Is a sport you're known for.
I'm sorry, Ralph. Could you say that one time? I had a phone call coming in and it cut it out.
Yeah, no problem. I said we probably never had anybody more qualified than you to answer this question on this show. If you want to be a better football player, what should you be doing in the winter?
Oh, you know it, man. Wrestling. And
there it is.
And yeah, you talk to Kurt Ferens, you talk to a variety of people out there. Ryan Day, you talk to them and they're going to tell you, get out there and be a wrestler, especially those bigger guys, body awareness, body position, leverage, hips, the whole thing. If you want to get out there and scrap, it's going to make you a better football player on Friday and Saturdays.
One other thing I'll even ask, earlier this football season, Hamilton High School got to host a Division III college game. That was obviously big for the district, coach, just in the fact that Lake Forest has come here. When I say here, the state of Arizona, and recruited hard, but to have Chandler host that game, that was big. The city.
Absolutely. And you saw, I mean, the crowd for Lake Forest was really big, to be honest with you. And Scripps brought their share of people, but there was a huge outpouring of following for that game. And obviously Coach Cat has been instrumental in giving hundreds of kids the opportunity in Chandler Unified, but specifically statewide over the course of the last decade or so. Man, it was great to host that event. It was a win-win for everybody.
Good stuff. I will say thank you so much. We'll see you on Saturday. It's good stuff. I will say we will do the district proud on Saturday. Ralph is going to do it from afar. Adam and I, we will be down there, and we're going to leave no stone unturned. That's for sure. Between the 3 of us, we're going to get after it.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate all that you guys do for high school football, athletics in general for the state, but specifically Chandler Unified. And just a quick reminder for all of the listeners, the AIA has done an outstanding job. There's no price to park in the parking lot. All you're doing is paying your entry fee to get in. Just park in any of the flat surfaced areas, and let's pack the stands and do it right.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate it, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well. Take care.
Appreciate you.
Well, fellas, we just talked to a good one. That's for sure. I mean, he's a great guy, and I mean, this is truly it's a good week. It really is. We got to talk to AD, understanding where he's coming from, and just it's exciting. It really is definitely exciting, and we'll start with the Casteel Colts, and we certainly hope to get another guest popping on very soon to talk a little flag football. But in the interim, the Casteel Colts, they are going to the 6A championship game. Not something that we expected initially. I mean, I'll say this, guys. Joe Bushman, Coach of the Year. My biggest reason, yes, we've got Andrew Taylor certainly up there, and not even that he's on the opposing sideline. And then also Alcantara over at Canyon View. The reason why I say that Bushman is coach of the year, he's new to the area. The other two candidates that I just mentioned, they've been on the sidelines for years. They have a great pulse on Arizona football. But for Bushman, he comes down from Oregon. He jumps right into, obviously, the most competitive district in the state and is off to the championship game, may darn well win it. So that's why I give him the Coach of the Year award in whatever we want to say, district, region, et cetera. All of that for that reason is because he's brand new. Definitely take your thoughts. Adam, let's start with you.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the job that Coach Bushman has done, and I think his ability to really get players bought in throughout the course of the season. And you know what? He told me yesterday at the media day that he didn't truly feel like this team was fully 100% bought into the goal of winning a state championship until 2 weeks ago. And that's really just the mantra of it is I think there's been a bit of a struggle behind the scenes at Casteel this year to get some of he said there were a couple of senior guys who have really stepped up and taken big time leadership roles. But there's also a couple of guys where they've kind of struggled to get on the bus all season long. And I think what is happening now is just we're seeing what Casteel is aimed to do all season come to fruition, and it's been a lot of because what T. Smith has done in this second half of the year. You know what? I had somebody ask me yesterday too if I believe T. Smith was a Division I quarterback, and I said absolutely he is. I think T. Smith's got all the intangibles and the makings to be a quarterback at the Division I level, and I think what we're seeing right now is a Casteel team that is being fueled by that talent and also has a great group of leaders around them that are pushing each other and motivating each other at the same time. A fantastic coaching staff behind them. Like I said, I love Joe Bushman. I don't know that I would put him as my coach of the year. But I will commend the job that he's done. Incredible coming in, a guy who, let's face it, didn't know anybody when he got here. And now a lot of people are praising him, and it's super cool to see the direction Casteel is going, and for them to be here in his first year is really cool, and a great job in a win against Salpointe Catholic. Really awesome to see.
Less than 2 months ago, Casteel lost to 1-4 Highland to drop to 3-3. And now they're playing for a 6A title. Troy Hodeggy had 24% of his total statistical output in a state semifinal game. 24% of his yards on the season. He had 193 yards receiving on 6 catches last week. And this team just keeps surprising people. It keeps getting better. And the athletic ability of T. Smith Jr., at this point, I really don't think it can be denied what a difference maker he is. Maybe the biggest difference maker as far as mid-year impact on what a team has ultimately gone on to achieve. We talked about it going into the Higley game, where I said that I was going to pick Casteel over Higley because Higley had 28 offensive touchdowns on the season, and T. Smith started in Game 6 in that loss to Highland.
Yes,
and he had 25 going into that game, and has now surpassed an entire team, and several entire teams across the state. He brings a level of excitement. He shrugs off mistakes. And defensively, this team continues to do whatever it takes to win. And it's just super, super impressive job by Joe Bushman. Every conversation that we had for the first 2 months of this season was think about how good they'll be in year 2, year 3. And here we are talking about them on championship weekends. Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 118 points in 3 playoff games. I mean, that's a nice stat. And as we look ahead to this game, we can start to kind of preview it. I mean, you got Richard Taylor, who is Andrew Taylor. I keep saying Richard. As long as I say the last name, I guess I'm safe. We got the Coyotes, who are the defending 6A champions. I mean, they're used to it. And I mean, I just think this is going to be a real good game, but Centennial has been in these types of games before. I'm not doubting Casteel at all, but right now, at least from an experience factor in this scenario, it's edge Centennial for me just for that factor alone. I mean, this is, heck, the lights won't be on, so I can't say the bright lights will get them on Saturday because it's a new kickoff. The sun will get them. But, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. But, Raphael, or either one of you guys, 9-4 against 8-5. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'll let Adam take it from here. My analysis is pretty simple and to the point.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is too. I agree with Brett. I think it's simply Centennial wins this game just because they've been in this situation a number of times. And not to say that Casteel won't give them a run for their money, because I think they will. I expect this game to be close, like some of the Centennial's playoff games have been this season. Heck, I even think it could be another high-scoring game like we saw between Casteel and Brophy. But I think simply because of the fact that, you know, Centennial has been here so many times and been in this situation and are just I hate to use the word used to playing in this, because, you know, it's still a new coaching staff and new quarterback and all that. But I think just based off of a previous year's resume alone, as well as some of the things they have done this year to get up to this point, I think I'm going to have Centennial in this game. It's going to be a high scoring one. It's going to be close, but give me the Coyotes.
I think I learned my lesson. I'm going to go with Casteel. At some point, you got to grab onto the tail of a comet as it's passing, or you're going to miss it. And I will say two of the hottest players in the state right now are T. Smith Jr. and Owen Reynoso. It's going to be an epic battle between the two of them. I don't have anything for you on any other reason why, other than if I don't start betting on T. Smith Jr. now, when is it going to happen? So I'm all in on the Casteel Colts. For the sake of this podcast, one of us has to do it. Let's go Colts. You're 6A 2025 champions.
I'm good with that. And I believe we have another guest who is backstage who definitely knows the lay of the land with football from a flag football standpoint. We can definitely bring her from backstage. And we have none other than Rae Black. Coach Black, how are you? I believe you're on mute right now.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm in my classroom grading papers, so and talking to you guys.
You are definitely multifaceted, multi-talented. Let's start with the academic side of things. You're in your classroom. I think you're an English teacher over at Chandler.
I am an English teacher over at Chandler. I got my master's in English, and I only did that because I wasn't good in high school. Okay. So as I got older, I was like, I need to turn this thing around. So that's what I did. I had to help myself out, you know?
Good stuff. No, absolutely. But aside from the academics, somewhere along the line, you gained some serious athletic confidence. You became a leader. I hate to keep using the word pioneer, but when it comes to the beginnings of flag football a few years back, you were certainly at the forefront. You took over the Casteel program. Just tell us kind of your experiences and where you really got into the athletic part of it, in particular flag football.
Well, because I believe you were just talking with Mr. Rustad, our district AD. So, yeah, he's the real pioneer. He's the real pioneer. Yeah, he's a real pioneer because he got all his 6 schools together and was like, we have to start somewhere. And so we started with C-Town. And so he got all his 6 schools, and we all played. We started off with 6, and then it grew into this. As the years went on, other schools jumped in, and other ADs, rallied to get a team at their school, and that's how we got here. So it's been very exciting to watch. Every year it's like something new. As the game grows, so does the girls' athletic ability. And so they're just so athletic and they're so smart. Like the football IQ goes up, and you can see it in the game. And then you can see how they're watching. They're learning how to read a defense. They're learning how to read an offense and stuff like that. So it's been really fun. It's been really exciting to watch.
Did the sport grow as quick as you thought it would? It's because it seems like it's just taken off in a major way. And when it first came to the forefront, it was like, all right, hey, this is pretty cool. But now, I mean, we know it's an Olympic sport. The girls are getting national attention. It's big.
Yeah, it is big. Like USA football backing it is also, that's what's driving it. But when the AIA, when they skipped the emerging sport part, I don't know if you remember that. I knew, I was like, oh, this is it.
Well,
I was like, this is it. This is it. Here we go. Like, so when they did that, I knew it was gonna be jumping into something really special.
from a, I was going to say, from a national standpoint, you're very much involved on the weekends. You really get after. Just kind of tell us what you've been doing on a lot of your Saturdays with the girls. It's not just local camps.
Well, I did the USA football talent ID, where that's how the girls make the national team. So, and they have to have coaches, of course, running the stations and everything. So, a lot of head coaches and club coaches are out there coaching up the girls, running the stations, helping the USA football. The management evaluate the talent, so we just help out. Like, we know the girls. Some of them are on our team. Some of them we just know from playing them, and we're like, hey, number 36. Like, it just pass that Arizona girl in there, because we want Arizona girls in there. Like, we want Arizona girls in the Olympics, and we want Arizona girls going to college, and we want Arizona girls going NAIA D1, D2, D3. Like, we want to be like, oh, that's our girl. She used to play for me. So I very much want that. And I want Town girls also. Like, I'm a big district girl, and I love our district. We have a lot of talent. And so I'm waiting for the day where there's just like, she came from Hamilton, she came from Casteel, she came from Chandler, ACP. I'm just waiting for the day where we get a mention on that.
There's one player I think
You've
that
got
comes to
a
mind
good, yeah.
in particular that has just kind of taken the flag football world by storm, and that's Samaya Taylor Jenkins.
Oh, yes. Yes.
National notoriety, USA. I think she was an MVP at some camp or whatnot. Two parts to this question. One, how cool has it just been to see her perform and do her thing? And two, do you think that there's a good chance that we could be seeing Samaya in the Olympics in 2028?
Oh yeah. It's so funny you asked that. Someone just asked me that, and I was like, if anyone is going to go, it's gonna be her, like, hands down. Like, if anyone, I mean, she has the speed. She knows how to make herself. Which is what I like about her the most. She knows how to make herself available for her quarterback. Like, she knows, like, when the play is busted, right? In your quarterback, she's starting to scramble, or she's in a situation, she knows how to make herself available, and that's because she's so smart. Like, she studies the game, she trains in the off season. It's just not going to practice. She trains in the off season, and that's why she's that good.
That's awesome. You have a busy day on Saturday. You're going to work with Team USA, but then you're going to head over to Mountain America Stadium. And you've been a big part of the Chandler Wolves team this year on Friday nights. Tell us your role with Friday nights with the Wolves football team.
On Saturday, we have our CUSD youth camp. And so we're running an all CUSD youth camp every Saturday for junior high schools in CUSD. It's open to the public, but that's what we have going on, because we're looking to get it into middle school. Now that we have it in the high school, we're looking to get it into middle school so we can start developing the girls at the younger level. So that's Saturday morning. And then, yes, I do the social media for Chandler football. I've seen you guys on the sideline. And you see me running around with my iPad and phone and multitasking with all my devices, trying to get that
Yes.
play by play.
Sure.
But that has been really fun. It's been so fun. Like, I'm living my best life right now, because those are my students, and I'm watching them, and I'm supporting them, and I'm hearing their little sideline chatter, and I'm hearing them, keep each other pumped up even after a mistake. They're, keeping each other pumped up, moving on, going to the next play. So it's really exciting for me. And also, I learn a lot from watching tackle coaches and listening to them. Like, there's things that they say, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I'm like mental noting that, like, oh, I want to try that. So it's been really fun. I just been going along for the ride. Even since the summer, like, I went with them to Just Chili, and I went with them to the ASU, and I've been watching them play sevens and stuff like that. And to see them from the summer, to get all the way to this point, especially Kamari Crawford, he's my mentee. We have a big football mentor program here on campus where the teachers mentor the kids, and we check in with them every week. We stay on top of their grades. We help them with college applications. So we do a lot on campus. And Kamari, when he was injured last year, I had just met him, and over the summer he didn't play sevens. So he was just, he was out there, but he didn't play. He was coming off of his injury. And to see him playing, like running it back on that pick six, I could not be
Okay.
more proud. Like I was so excited for him. And I'm just so happy for them right now. Like they've worked so hard on the field and in the classroom. And I can't wait till Saturday. I can't wait to be that play by play teacher for them again.
And Coach, before I let you go, Ralph, looks like Ralph might have had a question.
Oh yeah, no, I have so much to say. I'm
Oh.
over here trying not
Yeah,
to
go ahead, no.
blurt stuff out, but I got so many of my worlds are colliding right now. First of all, I absolute respect for everything that you do out there. Nothing held my head above water academically and socially like the English department at Chandler High School.
Yes.
Shout out Amy Kamitsky, probably kept me in school about 3 years longer than I wanted to be there. And also just the football program out there, and to see you be part of it is so awesome. And then you brought up Kamari, and that's like my wife's coworker's son. And so,
Oh, really?
to see, it is a small world. And then the coolest thing ever is, I think it was in March, I got to go out to USA flag football here in Charlotte, where it's based. And I got to see Samaya and hang out with her mother, Vanessa, who is,
Vanessa,
it's like multi-generational Hamilton family. And so, you don't have that. She's really the first, because the school's only been around since 1998. So like her family really is kind of a cornerstone of that school. And so I'm just very excited about all the things that are happening right now. But the one thing I wanted to point out is I brought my daughter. And I thought it would be a cool experience for her. And I walked away from it. And I go to all these rivals camps all over the country, these 5-star kids, in Baltimore, Atlanta, travel all over the country to see guys that will ultimately end up being first-round picks. The level of competition at the USA flag camps for girls, I was out there with the Bourget family watching Ryland. Ryland dominated and didn't make the squad. Like it is cutthroat, high level, high intensity competition. Yeah. And I remember going to my wife and saying kind of what you said, Brett, and what you said, Ray, that like, wow, this really blew up fast. And it was funny to see, my wife, who isn't, part of the sports world, just be like, of course it did. Like every dad and daughter, every mom and daughter has had football be part of their life for the longest time.
Absolutely.
Like you lit a short fuse on a box of dynamite. Of course it blew
absolutely
up.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just
It's
wanted to
so
say
cool.
I appreciate all you do, and
you.
it has been very exciting to see this sport blow up.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my worlds collide too, because it's just all football over here. Even with my kid, he plays in college at North Park University right now. And so it's just all, and I get to be a football mom again, because now I get to just support my students. Like I got him all packaged up and gone. And so now I'm here, I'm trying to package up the next generation coming out of my classroom. So, but it's been really fun. I'm just really excited. I'll be happy to see you guys. You'll see me down there, and we got to make sure we connect and say hi and represent the C-Town all day over there.
Absolutely. What's next for Coach Black as you move forward? There's so many opportunities for you. You're an educator, you're a teacher, which can be two totally different things. You're a broadcaster, you're a lot of things. What's next on your plate as you move forward into 2026?
There are a lot of opportunities. I want to, like my dad always would say, do everything till you can't do everything. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm still kind of doing everything. But there's like some things I kind of can't do, but I might want to do. So I really don't know. I know that I love coaching. I love coaching the girls. And I also have grown to love the recruiting side, and I've gotten to put some players, into school this past year, 2025. And I'm looking to put about probably like 5 in this 2026 class. I'm still talking with them and, trying to see what they want to do and supporting them the best I can. And they're writing essays and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like I get to help with the essay too as an English teacher. So it's really fun for me. But I think I really like the recruiting side. Like I feel like that it pulls me in that direction, like the education part that you have to have in order to get the girls recruited. Like, they have to have grades, and the essay has to be written right, and those are things that I can help them with. And then on the other side, it's like you got to market yourself, and the social media thing is something that I like a lot also. I love putting the girls out there and talking about them, talking about their grades and posting their highlights and showing them having fun doing team events and stuff like that. So I'm kind of putting it all together, and I love the recruiting side. I feel like at the end of the day, I'm hoping to do more of that.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming on with us. You've enlightened us about a lot of things. You've shared a little bit about your background. You've been a big supporter of this podcast for a while, so we definitely wanted to involve you in all facets. And as much as we're C-Town guys, you are a C-Town lady, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Absolutely. Take care. And fellas, she truly is a wealth of knowledge, just really a great person. She represents the district well, and more so the flag football world very well. But as we dive back in to tackle the Basha Bears, they are going back to Mountain America Stadium. They defeat the Liberty Lions by a score of 19-16. And it started off with the Basha defense, but that's all they could muster in the first half. But in half number 2, Jake Rogers, he finds Jaden Baldwin not once but twice in that third quarter. And guys, while that was big, it was not the difference. Mikey Barth connecting for a late field goal. That Basha defense puts up the goose egg on the Lions offense in quarter number 4. Not an easy thing to do. And wow, what a win, Ralph.
I can't believe this game went the way that it did. It was sloppy. It was desperate. It was like full-on playoff football. And Liberty had the ball with about 3 minutes left on Basha's 1-yard line. 1 yard, and you have a 23-16 lead. And they had already had a pick 6. And so, in my view, Basha dominated this game. As much as anybody can dominate Liberty, like, let's be real here. They were this close to putting together the greatest dynasty this state has ever seen. And I don't think we're going to get any Blue Ridge hate mail or Saguaro hate mail. We all know what we're talking about. We're talking about the highest of high level. And, we've been lucky enough in the history of C-Town to have 8 championships at the absolute highest level, much more than that overall, but 8 at the highest level. In 13 years, that's incredible. But the team that has prevented it from being even more has been Liberty. And so for Basha defensively to exert the effort that they did and to be put in a situation where you're back against the wall, you're at the 1 yard line, and that's all they have to do is get that 1 yard. It reminded me of Basha or Liberty being in a position before this whole dynasty started where all they had to do is get a 2-point conversion to knock Chandler out, and they weren't able to get it. And
I remember that game very, very well.
Yep. I was next to Lou Perrone in the end zone. He's openly cheering for Liberty, which is not a thing the media is. I guess he's not media, but you're not supposed to do that if you're down on the field. But I mean, that was intense. It really was. And, Liberty finally scaled that wall and they sat on that throne, and they did it for a long time and for good reason. They're incredibly well coached, incredibly talented. They have a fantastic system, and they earned everything they got. And Basha earned it back in this game on the goal line. I believe, and you can look for yourself at the tape, I believe they forced a fumble on 3rd and goal from the 1, and it was ruled down. And you just thought to yourself, man, 4th down, Liberty could kick the field goal, but it's not in them to do it like that. They're aggressive, and Colin Thomas is going to stay aggressive. And so here you are on 4th and goal from about the 1.5 yard line, and you figured, man, this is it. They're going to rip Basha's heart out, and another fumble. And Basha recovers it and marches down the field and kicks a field goal and holds on to win. And Mikey Barth has been such a huge part of this team's success throughout the course of the year. We all said that this defense was, going to be what gets them through. They got to alternate quarterbacks a little bit. Jake Rogers got to come back from a mistake, which was incredible for him. And yeah, here they are representing Val Vista, your neighborhood. You're technically the Basha representative on
That's true.
On this show. If you were pulling a Billy Madison, that would be the school you were districted for. But I think that it was an incredible effort. Ugly game. They can't all be pretty. Basha did it Basha's way, and I'm super proud of this team. And both quarterbacks and both running backs and the entire defensive line, and just an amazing effort. No one has held Liberty to a second half shutout. No one. And so, Basha deserves all the credit in the world for what they were able to pull off.
Adam, the body of this work that this Bears team all year long, I mean, it hasn't necessarily been style points the way Hamilton had rolled some people, but they've done what they've needed to do. They beat a good Williamsfield team twice. Obviously, they defeated Liberty the other day. I mean, this Bears team has done what they've needed to do when they've needed to do it, and it's been very, very special to see.
Yeah, the farther we get, obviously, now with the state championships this weekend, the more it just seems like how much of an outlier that Hamilton game was for this Basha team. Because since then, they really haven't looked the same. Don't get me wrong. They've dominated teams up until that Hamilton game, but it just felt like something sort of switched after that loss. They struggled a bit in Jake Rogers' first start against Mesa, absolutely decimated Perry, and then have now made the run they have in the playoffs. And part of that is Noah Roberts getting going. Part of that is it feels like Bash's wide receivers are the most confident that they've been all season long. And the other part of that is just that it feels like this defense is playing at its best right now, considered that they have been going 100% all season long. I thought Liberty would win this game because they would catch Basha sort of in a situation where, they just seem stronger. Colin Thomas has been in this situation. But to be honest, it was the complete opposite of what I thought was going to happen. And part of that credit has to go to Mikey Barth for kind of being the unsung hero in a way of this Basha team. Mikey Barth was really the only reason why Basha was in that Hamilton game for as long as they were. And now they're to the point, obviously, where they're in the state championship. But I was real surprised following along with this game, seeing what was going on. I think, lot of the talk this season regarding Liberty was sort of that 2 quarterback system and how it would function. And I think for a lot of the year it did. And I think finally we got to a point where Basha attacked it in a way where it just wasn't any sort of productive as it had been all season long. So huge credit to the Basha defense. I think this goes again to show truly, like we've been talking about all year, the depth that Basha has on this team to be able to kind of be in these situations where they can fluctuate guys in and out, give some dudes some rest during the game, and still be able to go out there and go make some stops and have as many people as they do. Out there making plays. So this is just, I think if I were to use any word by how this game went, to be shocked. Not by the fact that Basha won, just by the fact of, like Ralph said, how much it just felt like they dominated. Because I don't think any of us were really expecting that to be the case. And especially when you look at the score, it doesn't necessarily reflect that, but that's absolutely kind of what it felt like. In credit to Liberty's defense in the end there, kind of, almost bringing it back. And I think that just goes to show the heartbeat of that Liberty defense. Truly, in my opinion, still, despite the loss, the best defense in the state, the best tandem in the state between Hudson Dunn and Zeth Deuce. So yeah, incredible job by Basha, and to get to this point is incredible.
Absolutely. Basha's defense and Basha's depth overall has shown that they can win the fourth quarters, and that is precisely what's happening Chandler, Hamilton. Here we go. This is the game Adam and I were at, and it started off 2-0. 5 seconds into the game, a snap over the QB's head, and the Huskies never recovered. Will Menzel, he rushes for 3 touchdowns, and at one point it was 30-3. The Chandler Wolves were on top. The ball simply never bounced the Huskies' way. Chandler, clearly the better team on that night. Adam, you and I had the same vantage point. Matter of fact, you were significantly closer to the field than I was. I think the big factor, one of the factors, Chandler limited Hamilton to just 57 rushing yards. This after the Huskies had not one but 2 guys rushing for over 100 yards each in each of the last 2 games. That was big for Chandler.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think the game plan for Hamilton could have been any more less predictable of what they were going to do after the first 3 drives where they basically just ran it the whole time.
Yep.
They didn't take a single deep shot in the first half. I think Roy Oliver only had 6 targets in the first half.
That's right.
Or maybe 6 in the game in general. Might have been first half. Regardless,
it was limited.
It just felt like you could totally tell what Hamilton was trying to do, and Chandler totally shut it down. And I think that's the point you got to give Ty Wisdom and his group a lot of credit. It's for the first time really this season we saw Chandler play a full 48 minutes defensively. I talked last week, I said if Chandler's going to win this game, they're going to have to be able to sustain the defensive effort that they've been able to have, the defensive success they've been able to have in the first half of games this season, and be able to continue to play that well into the second half and throughout the rest of the game. They did that. And Hamilton tried to come back a little bit at the end. They finally started throwing the ball down the field. They moved to a bit of a tempo offense, which kind of picked things up. It had Chandler on the heels a little bit. But I tell you what, I think Hamilton, I think that they were the ones who lost this game with the personal foul penalties, just some of the antics that were going on during the game. It really felt like it was Chandler who won this game, but I think there are a lot of things Hamilton could have done differently to put themselves in a better position to win this game. And they just didn't do that. And Chandler took advantage. And it really felt like this was Chandler's not only best performance defensively, but best performance on the ground as well. I think this is as good as their run offense has looked all year.
Shout out to TJ Green.
253 yards on the ground. They had only 4 different rushers. David Douglas has really kind of been the unsung hero in this playoffs. He had 19 carries, which is more than Will Menzel had, even though it wasn't as many yards, and Will Menzel had 3 rushing touchdowns still.
He's emerged as the guy, Douglas, even more so than Ochoa.
And those are both sophomores too. So we're going to get to see these guys continue to develop. And I think also a lot of the credit has to go to is this Chandler offensive line and just how sound they've been all season. They've stayed relatively healthy all season long, and I think that's been the big key for them too. And the same for Hamilton as well, except the only guy they were missing tonight, or not tonight, on Saturday, was their center. And obviously, first play of the game, that told the tale of that. So, heck of a performance by Chandler. I think there are many ways in which Hamilton could have put themselves in a better position to win this game. But a lights out performance from Will Menzel. Didn't have a single passing touchdown or interception. He did it all on the ground. Managed to still have 200 yards passing.
Yeah.
And I think just when you look at this game, it's just what a win for Chandler. What a performance. And now the big question is, can you replicate that in the Open Division Championship?
And shout out to Blake Spear, offensive lineman, 3-year starter for the Chandler Wolves. Just amazing. Ralph, your alma mater, 350 North Arizona Avenue. They are in, I'm not going to say they're in cruise control, but they're playing really, really well. And it's great to see. I mean, they've avenged the loss and then some.
Yeah, I'm blown away by Will Menzel and the way that he has been able to take the games over with his legs late in the season. He was efficient. He didn't take too many risks. It really felt like people forgot that Chandler also has the ability to adjust. You know, a lot of the conversations I had after Hamilton's comeback win in the regular season was just like, hey, you know, does Chandler's big lead not mean anything to you guys? And I said, no, Chandler blew their opportunity. You know, Hamilton adjusted, and now that adjustment has been made, and that's what it is. And I'm like, well, Will Menzel wasn't exactly efficient in the first go round. And he didn't run as much as he possibly could have. And Chandler wasn't as good against the run as they should have been in a situation when Jack Scully was out. And the lead did happen. It existed. What I never understood is why all of those things put together as ingredients couldn't have made a heck of a pie. Right? Because I felt like they had the lead. They can play the run better than they did. Will Menzel can be more efficient than he was, and he can run a little bit more, and the team can run a little bit more. They put all those things together in an excellent game plan. For a minute, I was a little nervous there when Hamilton scored back-to-back touchdowns, got the ball back, and was driving in Chandler territory for what looked like it was going to be a third consecutive score in the fourth quarter.
And then they forced a fumble.
Yeah. And that can give you a little bit of PTSD, but you know, I do want to make a note of Hamilton's fantastic season. I told Adam Beadle when we did our post-game spaces, you know, when it comes to these two teams, I have a very firm belief that Hamilton wins these games when they act like Hamilton. Chandler wins these games when they act like Chandler. And what I mean by that is Chandler kind of playing fast and loose and fun and not being intimidated and not having or having a really short-term memory on mistakes that you make, and just being physical and representing the pack mentality that says wolves across the chest, right? Well, what happened in this game? Chandler had 13 solo tackles total, 49 assisted tackles. They played Chandler football. They made a few mistakes. You guys were out there. They had some penalties, but they weren't backbreaker stupid ones.
Right. That was big.
You know, and then on the other end, when I say that Hamilton needs to act like Hamilton, when you're big brother, you don't sweat little brother at all. And the way that Adam said that game started was with a chant. It was basically like expletive Chandler. And I don't got a problem with the expletive. It's high school football. It's what it is. It's, what are you saying their name for? Chandler shouldn't even be on your mind if you're Hamilton. And I say this as part of the beginning of the 0-17 streak that Chandler was on the receiving end of when Hamilton beat him up in the regular season, beat him up in the playoffs, beat him up on ESPN. When Chandler finally did get a foothold and get a win, Hamilton turned around, ran a 17-play drive with a Tyrell Smith 1-yard touchdown behind Casey Tucker to go to the 2013 championship.
At Highland High School. I remember
at Highland High School in the mud, right? And so, you know, when Hamilton wins this game and when they're at their best, it's when they remember they are like, and it's not snooty, it's not elitist. They are a cut above when they act better, when they act above it all. When they are not out there getting dumb penalties, or when they're not out there being profane for the sake of being profane, but when they come in as the well-oiled machine that doesn't care that it's a rivalry game, to be honest, that's when they win this game. And it was from the beginning when Adam tweeted that, I was like, uh-oh, you let a school in your head that doesn't even belong there. And I'm not saying this to insult Chandler. I'm saying that's, I watched how they got those 17. My best friend was the very first ever 4-year student council president of Hamilton. And we remain friends to this day. She lives out here like next to me, a neighbor in Charlotte. Like that's the attitude. That's always been the attitude. We're better than you. You're going to think about this loss all year long. Tomorrow, we're not going to think about you at all. And so I just, to me, I don't know where that gets kind of like wrung out of your school culture, but that is, you know, we used to have somebody on this podcast that always talk about restore the order for Hamilton. You restore the order by remembering who you are. You don't think about the other team at all. But that being said, incredible season. undefeated up to that point. They should be proud, but I know what the standard is for Hamilton. I know why they brought this specific head coach in. Yep. I know how talented they are. It's very cool that Roy Oliver set the record for most receiving yards in 6A, most touchdowns in 6A, tied most touchdowns ever in a single season. But it came without even a trip to the championship. So I know they're going to be grinding all off season long. But as it stands, congratulations to the Chandler Wolves. You're back on the board and you have the opportunity to do something that is pretty special. You got 2 championship wins over Perry. You got 2 championship wins over Hamilton. You don't got one over Basha. Not in the final game.
That's
so
true.
We're going to find out what the Wolves are made of.
Absolutely. And Ralph, go ahead, Adam. I think you had
I'm good.
Yeah. Ralph, I'm going to throw out 2 dates at you. September 14, 2012.
Okay.
October 18, 2019. 11 games Chandler and Basha played during that time period, dates inclusive. Average final score, Chandler 53, Basha 16. Do you remember those blowouts? That was crazy. We're not going to see.
It'd be worse if you left that first date off. It'd be even worse if you left that first date off, because I believe you were there.
I was there. That was my first high school game ever in the city. So
Basha was up like 30-0 and lost.
Correct. Yes, that was. I thought I even had that final score written down somewhere. But yes, it was. Yes, if I left that first score up there, it's even more lopsided. But since
Shout
then,
out to Basha running back Miles Smith.
And then Phillips. Nate Phillips was the Basha receiver.
Phillips.
Yeah,
Nate Phillips. I think he's a cop now.
Yes. Since then, Chandler is actually 0-4 against Basha. Since then, Mike Denny has gone from the Basha side, coach Mike Denny, from Basha to Chandler, now back to Basha. So there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of history. I mean, these 2 teams are going to get after it Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I don't even know where to begin. I don't necessarily have keys to the game for this one. I don't know. There's so much that can be said about both teams. I mean, rushing and turnovers obviously have to be at a maximum and limited. I think that's the biggest scenario, but I don't have any individual scenarios like I had the Roy Oliver needing to score multiple touchdowns last week for Hamilton to win, that sort of thing, or time of possession. For me, whoever wins the turnover battle and the rushing yardage wins. Fellas, we can start with Ralph.
Well, championship experience is an interesting one, right? Because how long's it been since Basha won it all?
2022.
2022, right? So maybe you have a couple of freshmen that were pulled up to varsity that remember the experience. What does Chandler have? And I could be wrong about this, but I think I'm right.
None. I think the last
lucky state championship in 2020 where they won because Hamilton missed a game-winning field goal.
Doesn't Will Menzel have a state championship?
Where did he transfer
from?
I knew it.
You're right.
I knew it. Doesn't Will Menzel have a state championship? Wasn't he on varsity for it?
And he played. And he played during the season.
Yeah. So that's what made me laugh. I was thinking about you got championship experience. Yeah, a lot of Basha's players played in it. But I don't think they had any contributors who actually won in the last game of the season. And I was like, I know Chandler doesn't. And then I was like, wait a minute, didn't Will Menzel play for Saguaro in the Zach Hill year?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
So who knows? Maybe some of that ASU experience will roll over. But we know Basha was in this game last year.
Yep.
And I have two things to say, I think, that would be a key to the victory for Basha. Number one, assume that things are going to go sideways. You just have to assume that at this point. Last year, Gio Richardson went down immediately, and there were some questionable calls. I don't think that's why Basha lost.
Correct.
At the end of the day, I think Basha focusing on everything that was going wrong took them out of having an opportunity to win the Open State Championship. So that's number one. Just know that things are going to go sideways and do what you did against Liberty. Just keep grinding them out, right? The other thing is, I don't know if I have the same standard for Basha that I do for Hamilton, because the second that game ended, Chris McDonald, and this is in a video that Elia Gabai of Sports 360 AZ put out there. Chris McDonald was like, hey, remember their OC, and I think he's talking about Ace Justin, their OC came up to us after sevens and was like, yeah, but you don't want to see us in real football. Now, Ace Justin said that is not what happened. But I'm like, okay, so immediately, Chris McDonald's trying to fire the troops up and saying, like, because the truth is, like, Bash is not going to be looked at as the underdog in this game. So he had to give him something. He had to give him something in that moment that from like right out of the gate, hey, remember, even though you've been here, even though you beat them twice with Demond, even though it was the expectation from the beginning of the season, it's actually us.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually us who has our back against the wall. Everybody's against us. Everybody wants to see the Wolves back on top. They don't think you can hang. I love that he planted that seed right away. I love it. And whether the accuracy of it is up for debate, but I actually do love that he did that, because there could have been some rat poison out there this week for Basha, just hearing how great they are, that they beat Liberty, that if they beat Liberty, of course, they're going to beat Chandler. And just with he didn't even let them think about how much easier it's going to be to take on Chandler when you just beat Liberty. He just flat out said, hey, this team we're about to play said you couldn't hang. What do you think about that? And he did it on the field with Liberty still crying in the corner. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I realize it's a double standard, but I loved it. And I think it could be helpful for his team to have that attitude going into this game.
Adam, spot on. You're spot on with this game back on August 26th. You said there would be two teams in the final, and you said it would be Chandler and Basha. Have at it.
You know, I've been saying for the beginning of the season, I think for Basha, with the amount of talent that they have on that roster, what they're shaping up to be, anything short of an open division championship is an unsuccessful season. And I stand by that, and I still agree with that. Chandler, on another hand, is a team I think coming into the year was probably one of the most, not necessarily an underdog, but I don't think people were really paying a whole lot of attention to, how big Chandler was coming this year. And I think they shocked a lot of people throughout the year. And there's one player in particular that led that, and that's Will Menzel. I think Will Menzel has by far, shown that he is the best quarterback in the 2027 class here in the state and one of the best 2027 quarterbacks in the country. I think he's just sort of displayed a level of football IQ that we haven't seen from a Chandler quarterback in a while. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been some highly rated quarterbacks at Chandler. I think Will Menzel is by far better than a certain one I'm talking about. But I think it's worth noting that Basha did take down Chandler at Flight Club in the championship game. Brody Veers and Will Menzel went back and forth the whole time. Obviously, Brody Veers was the one who came out on top with Basha. They scored a touchdown there at the very, very, very end. They gave them the win, but Chandler was in it the whole time. And whether or not that whole interaction with Coach Justin is true about, you don't want to see us in pads. I don't think Basha wants to see Chandler in pads. I think this Chandler team is playing some like Ralph said, some Chandler football. Like, this is what we saw Chandler do against Hamilton last week was the definition of Chandler football. And I think if Chandler can do that and go out and do the same thing they did last week against Hamilton, against Basha, I have no doubt in my mind they will win this game. We also got to remember, Coach Wisdom won a state championship just last year in Nebraska.
Yep.
He led his team to a state championship win. I think Coach Wisdom and his team do the exact same thing again this year at Chandler.
I don't know if I'm going to throw out a prediction, but I'll say, having called the last two Chandler games, I have not seen the Wolves play this well in a back-to-back stretch against quality opposition in a very long time. I mean, this Chandler team is in real good – they're in a real good place right now, and that's not knocking the Basha Bears. I actually have not seen the Basha Bears but once this year. That was against Hamilton, and even that was more of a it was just a different circumstance. It was a totally different. My eyes were not locked in on the Bears offense or defense necessarily on that night. We hope it's a good one for C-Town, for the city of Chandler. We hope it's a great one. This is both teams by far deserve to be there. We'll say that as we flash back to that August 26th episode, we both agreed that there would be one team. All three of us agreed that there would be one team out of the 8 that we cover that hoist a gold ball, and that team does wear the hunter green and gold, but we'll see. I mean, I'll say on that day, I'm hoping we're wrong. I hope there's 2 teams that hoist a gold ball on Saturday. And Ralph, before we get to you to close it out, just kind of a funny thing, if you guys recall, I put out the question of how many of our teams would be in the semis of any given scenario. This year there were 5. We kind of met in the middle. Myself and Adam said that there were 3. You said all 8 would make the semi. But so we meet in the middle if there were 5. But,
so close.
It was a good showing by everybody. Ralph, take us home.
All right. Y'all know I'm loyal. I grew up on the north side of Chandler, Arizona and Warner, going to the United Artists Theaters. It's now AZ Compass Prep, hanging out at that Arby's. I went to Chandler High School. Obviously, you know, I never thought I'd see him win anything. Started this podcast, started this website back in the day to cover football in a city that I love. Basha wasn't around when I was in high school, neither was Perry. But I saw that as the district continued to expand, that spirit of high school football in Chandler, it went with it. And I was just excited to be part of what was going on and help keep people informed. And since then, we've had ACP emerge and Casteel emerge. We've added Valley Christian, Seton Catholic, and even talked a little Chandler Prep, you know, and it's been a lot of fun. We've gotten to see Perry get to the highest level. We got to see Casteel win a championship at the 3A level. And we're getting to see them play for 6A. It's been what a ride. It's been so fun. And I'm a very, very loyal person, loyal to the soil. That's the reason this website, this podcast exists. So you might think that I'm going with Chandler, but I'm also loyal to my opinions. And coming into this season, I said that Basha was the number 1 team. I said that Chris McDonald was going to, you know, take hold of this staff, as Adam Beadle outlined for us at the beginning of the year, simplify this offense, and that this defense was going to get them back there and that they were going to take down Liberty. Well, they did that. I didn't expect them to have the Chandler Wolves waiting for them at the end of that tunnel. Makes it feel like it's an impossible choice, but I'll say this. Ty Wisdom's going to get his. He's a lot better than I think I could have even imagined. And that's even after going back and looking at what he did in Nebraska. He cares a lot. He's very serious. He's very intense. And it is my belief that he will probably be coaching the 2026 Arizona Open state champion Chandler Wolves. But in 2025, it's the year Basha. And I'm going to roll with the pick that I made at the beginning of the year. Verbal Wesley Snipes meme, tears crying with the gun pointed. I got to go with the Bears. So I'm on opposite sides of you on this one, Adam. But I think it's going to be Basha at the end of the day. And for the podcast's sake, I'm with you, Brett. I hope it's 2 gold balls.
Outstanding, fellas. This was truly a championship edition. We had Shawn Rustad. We had Rae Black. We, of course, brought our opinions and facts and all that good stuff. It's a good ride. We've got one more show, and that will be next week over at Podworks Studio with hopefully another Chandler alum. Bill Brasso can join us, as he's the owner of Podworks Studio, who's allowed us in there on a semi-regular basis this season. But it's been great. It really has. Ralph, as always, just terrific working with you. Adam, great working with you as always. We'll see you guys Saturday. We will be tweeting. We'll be texting. We'll be the three of us. We are readily available for anything related to C-Town. And with that note, we'll see you guys next week. This is the C-Town Rivals Podcast.